Welcome to 3.2 Polynomial Division Day 1. We are going to first look at how we do long division elementary school style before we jump into polynomial division. So if you guys remember, if you're asked to divide 176 by 3, you would put 3 on the outside and 176 on the inside. We would first see if 3 goes into 1, which it doesn't, so then we'd say if 3 goes into 17, which it does. And it goes in there 5 times, which we put above the 7. So we divided, that's always that first step, divide. Then step number 2 is to multiply. So 5 times 3 is 15. Step number 3 is then to subtract. So 17 minus 15 is 2. And then you probably remember you have to then bring down that next number. So we bring down the 6. So those 4 steps we go through every time and then we repeat them. So we go back up and divide again. 3 goes into 26 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24, then we subtract to get 2. There's nothing left to bring down. And here's one thing that might be different from what your elementary school teacher taught you. This 2, you are not going to put R2 for remainder 2 up here. This 2 is how much you have left out of 3. So it would be 2/3. So 5/8 and 2/3 would be our final answer. So now we're going to do the same thing, those same steps, but with a polynomial. So go ahead and write that equation down, and then we're going to set it up to do some long division. So the x minus 3 is the part that goes on the outside, and then 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 is on the inside. So the first thing, when we are dividing, you only divide first term by first term. So I don't care about the minus 3 or any of this other stuff inside. So I only want to divide 2x squared by x. So I'm going to take 2x squared and divide it by x. Well, when I do that, there's 2 x's on the top and 1 on the bottom. So that leaves me with just 2x if I were to simplify an x on top and an x on the bottom. So I put that above the corresponding term. So here's my x term, just like we did with the 5 up above. All right, so that was the division. Now I'm going to multiply. Multiply, I do multiply the whole thing. So 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. So I've divided, I've multiplied, so my next step is to subtract. I'm going to subtract the 2x squared minus 2x squared, and those should always eliminate each other. And then negative 5x minus a negative 6x is really plus. So negative minus a negative, so we're adding 6x, gives us just x. So we've divided, multiplied, subtracted. Now we're going to bring down the negative 3. And we're going to repeat that process again. So dividing the first terms, x divided by x is just 1. So we have 2x plus 1 up top. 1 times x minus 3. Then we're going to subtract. They're exactly the same thing, so that leaves us with a remainder of 0. So we don't have anything to put up here. And our answer is just 2x plus 1. All right, we're going to try that a couple more times. But see if you can get started on number 2. Hit pause, see how far you can get, and then come back and check. All right, so hopefully you set it up with x minus 1 on the outside and x cubed minus 4x squared plus x plus 6 on the inside. I'm going to take x cubed divided by x, that's x squared. Then I'm going to multiply x squared times x minus 1. So that's x cubed minus x squared. And now I'm going to subtract. Negative 4 plus x, because minus a negative is plus, gives me a negative 3x squared. and then I'm going to bring down the next term. You don't need to worry about the 6, just bring down whatever that next term is. All right, so now I'm going to repeat that whole process again. Negative 3x squared divided by x is negative 3x. Negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. Negative 3x times negative 1 is a positive 3x. Then I'm going to subtract. X minus 3x is negative 2x. And I'm going to bring down the 6. Then I get to do it all again. So negative 2x divided by x is negative 2. And then I multiply. And then I subtract. So 6 minus 2 is 4. So this time we do have a remainder. So remember that remainder has to go above what you were dividing by. So I have x squared minus 3x minus 2. I have to have a plus sign here. Plus 4, my remainder, over x minus 1. Now when you're typing it in the computer, you need parentheses around that denominator. But this whole thing is your answer. X squared minus 3x minus 2 plus 4 divided by, in parentheses, x minus 1. All right, we're going to try it one more time. This time when I look at my numerator, I see that I don't have an x squared term. So when I write my numerator inside, I'm going to put a 0x squared in place of the term that's missing. So anytime you have a term that's missing, put a 0 in for it as a placeholder. All right, so go ahead and try this one. Hit pause and then come back and check. All right, so I'm going to take 2x cubed divided by x. That gives me 2x squared. I'm then going to multiply to get 2x cubed minus 6x squared. And I'm going to subtract 0 plus 6 gives me 6x squared. And I'm going to bring down the 3x. Then I repeat the process again. So I say 6x squared divided by x is 6x. Multiply, so that's going to be minus 18x, but since we're subtracting, it's really adding, so that's 21x, and then bring down the 7. Then we do it one more time. How many times does x go into 21x? Well, that's 21 times. Then we multiply. 21 times negative 3 is negative 63. Subtract those. 7 plus 63 is 70. So 70 is our remainder. Just like last time, we're going to put that remainder, we're going to say plus, and then put that remainder above what we were dividing by, and put parentheses around that denominator. And all of that is our final answer.